All right, kids, literally a lot to unpack here. Like the box, we're going to open it and... All right. This is an offer I've been waiting to do literally for months. And in case you didn't notice, I'm tickled pink to actually get to this point today to present this offer to you. Because this is the coolest damn thing in the world. If you're a wine geek, if you love wine, this is insane. And if you love Rioja wine, it's like sextuple insane. We're going to jump right into it. So, Remelluri. Remelluri. Have you heard of them? You know, from a Rioja standpoint, they're kind of famous. Telmo Rodriguez, the family estate in the north of Rioja, in the Rioja Alavesa. And the deal here is, it's always been one of the best estates. Telmo left, came back in 2009, reinstituted this whole new thing with the vineyards, etc. And, you know, he recreated the estate. It's amazing. He has so many projects. Telmo is a busy, busy dude. But the one thing that he could not ignore, the one thing he could not ignore is terroir. Now, in Rioja, terroir is a dirty word. I'm going to tell you that. And it's a dirty word, but not in a bad way. It's more in a functional commercial way, to not rock the boat, to not kind of stir the pot, if you will, because Rioja has it so good right now with these wines that are produced in huge quantities at insane quality levels for no money. And part of that process is like, do you really have to know what part of Rioja it comes from? I mean, we buy from this guy, we buy from this guy. That is an integral part of Rioja being Rioja. But at some point you have to ask yourself, how do we get past these, you know, I'm not going to say ubiquitous, that's the wrong word, but these wonderful winery-marked Grand Reserva and Reserva wines and get to a point where we can actually start talking about the areas of Rioja. It's a conversation that has to happen. It is a conversation that most of Rioja does not want to have. Telmo will have it. Accordingly, back in, might have been 2010 actually, you started this project. Rewind. In 2010, Rioja was allowed to put the village of the wine on the labels. Can you believe that? Think about this. Prior to 2010, if you made wine in Rioja, you weren't allowed to put the village where it came from on the label if it came from that village. Can you imagine? No Oakville, no Yountville, no Calistoga, no Pauillac, no San Emilion, no St. Julien, no Gevrey-Chambertin. No, I could go on and on. Rioja managed to pull this off until 2010. Remarkable. Now, the villages, if the wine's grown exclusively in this village, are allowed to put their names on the label. Telmo's taken that, run with it, and created a really exciting scenario here. So, these wines are sold separately as well, but there's no way in hell we're not going to sell you this pack. This is the Lindes de Remelluri 6-pack, the Terroir 6-pack. I'll take that out of the way. Sorry, I'm going to break something probably. Sorry, Patrick, if I get in trouble. Check out this map. This is a map of Rioja. Here are your terroirs. It's all right there for you. Boom. This is amazing. So you can see the different villages that these particular wines come from and how these villages manifest in a true terroir style. All 6 of these wines are grown with small, conscientious, mostly organic and or biodynamic growers, old vines, all 30 to 90 years old, everything native yeast fermented, stainless steel, then aged in neutral vessel. This is amazing. You get to taste Rioja literally for the first time. How effing cool, right? As a wine merchant, like, my mind is blown with this pack. This is the coolest damn thing in the world. Outside of the Phillies maybe winning the World Series again someday. But outside of that, this is the coolest damn thing in the world. Look at that. So which one should we pick, Patrick? I'm moving towards the one up in the top left corner there. I like that little village there. So let's taste the Salinias de Buradon. Because this is literally a village I'd never seen before. Look at that, right? I'll get to the bottle shapes in a second. Which one's that? This guy. Lindes de Bourdon. So a lot of you are already familiar with the quality of the Remelluri wines. They are one of the greatest estates in Rioja. One of the first estates to bottle a single estate grown wines. And they've taken that to the max with this program. Now, what you have to remember is all of these are micro production. All right, we're talking, you know, did they put the bottles in the back? Yeah, this one, 20,000 bottles. So about 1,800, 1,700 cases, which in Rioja terms is nothing. A drop in the bucket. All teeny tiny production. Top flight corks. I love it. On the back, all the information in the village, right? You get all the spiel right there. My gosh, this is like Rioja 101, but taught by like a Harvard professor. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all here for you. They come in different bottle shapes. I think it has to do maybe with there's more Grenache in some areas, or maybe Grenache plays a bigger role in some parts of these micro terroirs than others. But to be honest, I can't quite be sure. You know, traditionally the Burgundian-shaped bottles were used for wines that were made in more Burgundian or earlier consumption style, just like Bosconia, Lopez, just like the Viña Real wines at Cunha. So I presume that's the thought process here, but you're just going to have to taste them all for yourself and find out, man. So 6 villages, Lindes, San Vicente, Pesina, La Bastida, Rivas de Tereso, and Abalos. And all of these villages have made some of the greatest wines ever produced in Rioja from some of the greatest names. You just didn't know it until now. Ugh, this gets me psyched. So juiced for this offer. Can you tell? This is uncomfortable. And you know, I'll tell you what, Telmo's style is not like an old school style of Rioja. This is a modern style of Rioja, if you will, but modern with regards to the brightness, energy, and forwardness of the wines. This isn't an heavily oaked style. This is all neutral vessel, right? So you don't have to worry about, a lot of you are like, oh, Rioja, American oak, even though like a lot of you don't know what American oak tastes like. But still, like a lot of you say it as an excuse, like not buy the wines, I get it. But you know, beyond that, you can't have any of those discussions here. These wines are pure, organically grown, native fermented, neutral vessel wines. This is it. This is your Terroir 101 Rioja thing. Ours too, by the way. You know, they don't want you to know about the villages, and we go to Rioja quite a bit. Our last trip in February was the first time where we were actually hunkering down in Pesina, in Abalos, in San Vicente, in these areas, and having these discussions. This is cutting edge. You guys are on the forefront of what's happening in Rioja right now. This is it. I'm not even getting to the wine. I'm just having too much fun talking about the freaking offer. Delightful. The key here is the purity of the wines when you go from cuvee to cuvee. What you're going to do is you're going to buy the 6-pack, invite a couple friends over, get some lamb, get some jamon, do your thing, get it set up, have your party. This is the ultimate Wine Dork Spanish wine party pack. In one night, you're going to have all these dialed in, and you and all your wine geek friends, including me, because you're going to invite me, are going to be at the end of the night friggin' better Rioja experts than 90% of the people that drink friggin' Rioja. You see what I'm getting at? This is a must. If you love wine, why am I hard selling this? Because this is too friggin' cool not to have. That's why I'm hard selling it. A fun little note with this village. I did pick the Lindes for a reason. This is a village that was almost literally wiped off the map in Rioja and was kind of rejuvenated in the 80s. It almost ceased to exist. It's north of Aro, right on the edge of the Sierra Cantabria Mountains as you're heading further onto the oceanic side, or the sea side of northern Spain, if you will. So it's actually a cooler village. It's It's right there at the top, right at the front, like right when the two weathers collide, and it's a fascinating spot. And I didn't even know it was there, to be honest, until they're like, I'm like, what's that? Oh, that's Salinias. It's like, what? Because it seemed more northerly than any other spot in Rioja. And if you look at the map, it is. I've never been up there. All our business is like down here, right? Like the Auto, the Barrio Estacion, etc. This village, I've never tasted a wine straight from this village before in my life. I mean, this is it. This is a first. Nerding out with you guys. As an example, I think this one is like 91% Tempranillo with stuff. But all of these are blends. And some of these villages, Grenache plays a very important part in the stylistic bent of the wine. So some of these wines you're going to see like 25% Grenache, 35% Grenache, etc. And it's all a bit of a mix. But the mix is conducive to conveying the true terroir of the village based on what has traditionally grown best there. This is it. Full transparency. This is it. Guys, this works out to $240 for the 6-pack. We do sell the wines individually for like $45 a bottle. So you can buy them individually at $45. If one tasting note cackles your shackle more than the other, you can do it. But I highly encourage you to save the $5 a bottle and do multiple sets. This is going to be the funnest frigging wine dork thing you do this year. And actually, there's only like 2 weeks left in this year. So yeah, you've already done a lot of fun wine things. If you do this before the end of the year, this will be the funnest wine thing you do this year. Limited number of packs. They don't make a ton of this stuff. An absolute must. Scores, yeah, they all got 94, 95 points from somebody. Look at it, Google it, whatever, look at our website. Everything's got press, everything's delicious, everything's wonderful. Super duh moment. Buy this pack. Thank you. Good night.